La menace sur Moscou devient pressante et le gouvernement soviétique quitte la capitale où Staline reste pour coordonner la défense. Le 7 novembre, il s'adresse à la foule des moscovites.
Les Russes se battent avec héroïsme pour ralentir l'avance allemande, mais déjà des centaines de milliers sont tombés. Des prisonniers sont parqués dans des conditions matérielles épouvantables.
Les Allemands réussiront-ils à prendre Moscou avant l'hiver qui approche? Brusquement, l'attention mondiale se détourne des steppes glacées pour se porter vers les îles ensoleillées de l'océan Pacifique.
That 125,000 Japanese troops were assembled in Indochina, President Roosevelt made a personal appeal to the Japanese Emperor. On Tuesday, President Roosevelt had asked Tokyo for a quick explanation of the aim of these Japanese troop movements into Indochina.
En effet, la tension a brusquement monté entre les États-Unis et le Japon.
Particular defense measures adopted in the Far East this week by the United States and friendly countries acquire their significance. American Marines have sailed from Shanghai, where large-scale hostilities would have made them hostages. They are now in Manila. In the Philippines, evacuation of Manila is advised. Leaves are cancelled at Corregidor, the fortress of Manila. And naval bases lie under permanent blackout. Nothing in the language or the behavior of the Japanese government suggests that practical preparations are being made to accept Secretary Hull's conditions as the basis for assessment.
Interrupt this program to bring you a special news bulletin. The Japanese have attacked Pearl Harbor, Hawaii by air.
Le décalage des fuseaux horaires fait que, à ce même moment, nous sommes le 8 décembre à Tokyo.
Le Congrès américain entend le lundi 8 décembre le président Roosevelt constater l'état de guerre avec le Japon.
Members of the Senate, of the House of Representatives, yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. The United States was at peace with that nation, and at the solicitation of Japan, was still in conversation with its government and its emperor, looking toward the maintenance of peace in the Pacific. Indeed, 1 hour after Japanese air squadrons had commenced bombing in the American island of Oahu, the Japanese ambassador to the United States and his colleague delivered to our Secretary of State a formal reply to a recent American message.
Ce jour d'infamie ne surprend pas Roosevelt. Depuis sa réélection en novembre 1940, il a, par le biais d'une aide économique progressivement engagé les États-Unis dans le conflit.
Never before, since Jamestown and Plymouth Rock, has our American civilization been in such danger as now. We must be the great arsenal of democracy. For us, this is an emergency as serious as war itself.
Un service militaire sélectif a été décidé et le président a tiré au sort devant un public de mères angoissés la série appelée Sous les armes.
The first number drawn by the Secretary of War is serial number 158.
En janvier 1941, il demande au Congrès des crédits importants.
No previous time has American security been as seriously threatened from without as it is today. New circumstances are constantly begetting new needs for our safety. I shall ask this Congress for greatly increased new appropriations and authorization to carry on what we have begun. I also ask this Congress for authority and for funds sufficient to manufacture additional munitions and war supplies of many kinds to be turned over to those nations which are now in actual war with aggressor nations.
Of Paris, from the streets of Amsterdam, from the homes of old Vienna to the shores of Uncle Sam, wherever freedom's hope is true, each heart cries out to you. Don't give up, Tommy Atkins, be a stout fella, chin up, cheerio, carry on.
Cette politique rencontre une forte opposition des milieux isolationnistes dont le célèbre aviateur Charles Lindbergh est une figure dirigeante.
France has now been defeated, and despite the propaganda and confusion of recent months, it is now obvious that England is losing the war. And I have been forced to the conclusion that we cannot win this war for England regardless of how much assistance we send. That is why the America First Committee has been formed. Are we operating under a government by representation, or are we operating under a government by subterfuge? The hypocrisy and subterfuge that surrounds us comes out in every statement of the war party.
L'ancien adversaire de Roosevelt, Wendell Willkie, apporte maintenant son soutien au président et répond à Lindbergh.
It does no good to say of the President of the United States, as was said last night, that he acts through hypocrisy or through subterfuge. No man President of the United States at this critical moment could act from such motives as that.
Après l'invasion de l'URSS, la loi Pré-Baille a été étendue à ce pays. Et Lindbergh accuse Roosevelt d'entraîner les États-Unis vers la guerre.
Where is freedom if 4/5 of a nation can be carried to war against its will? I will tell you. Freedom for us does not lie on any Soviet battlefield or on any coastline.